Hi guys, this is Jerry, welcome to the channel. In this video, we're gonna have a quick first look and the drive on the all-new GWM Ora 5. An electric SUV is finally available under the GWM brand for New Zealand and Australia. In terms of pricing, the GWM Ora 5 starts from $36,990 plus ORC. If you pay $3,000 more, you are able to get this Ultra version. That means you get the same battery, same driving technology, but you are getting a few more cosmetic upgrades here in the New Zealand market. This vehicle is loaned out by Peter from Andrew Sims GWM Auckland. If you're looking to purchase this vehicle here in Auckland, reach out to him. I'll leave his contact details on the top of the screen. For the exterior dimensions, the GWM Ora is just under 4.5 meters long with a wheelbase stretched to 2.72 meters. That means this is not a small car compared to the last Ora Cat hatchback. For the battery, both Ora 5 gets a 58.33 kilowatt-hour LFP battery. That means for WLTC range, that's up to 430 kilometers. It's powered by a single motor front-wheel drive, 150 kilowatts, 260 Newton meters of torque. The factory rating for 0 to 100 is 8 seconds. If we go to the charging port, we're going to see AC and DC charging available. AC up to 6.6 kilowatts, DC up to 120 kilowatts. It also supports vehicle load up to 6 kilowatts. For the exterior design language, it is pretty much similar to the last generation Ora Cat hatchback. You get Ora logo in the center, very flat panels over here, but round shape throughout the vehicle, including the round headlights, LED tail lights, and front headlights as well. Some black covers underneath. Panel on the wheel arch, just the body color. Mirror cover is also very round again, and then the slopey roofline is also just very much round shape. You get black trims over here, silver roof rails on the top as standard. On the side, we have 18-inch alloys, also as standard from the GWM Ora. And then at the back, again, quite nice slopey roofline, which is identical to the last generation GWM Ora Cat. You get big GWM logo, EV logo, Ora 5 underneath, plus the running taillight bars and brake lights just on the top under the spoiler. Opening the tailgate, we will have just over 360 liters of total volume. When you drop the floor lower, you are able to raise the floor level to the high level, so it's nice and flat. Underneath the cover, you are going to find, surprisingly, the GWM Ora 5 gets a space saver, which is very cool for an electric vehicle. Only one I can think of right now that comes with a space saver is the Omoda E5, so it is a definitely good benefit for the New Zealand and Australian market. At the front, you are able to drop the seats 40-60 split. That will welcome you for over 1,000 liters of combined volume. For the back, the Ora 5 is pretty spacious. You get good amount of headroom on top, despite this panoramic glass roof. You get a good amount of legroom and small amount of foot space underneath. We do have pockets over here, single air vents, single USB-C charging, small pockets underneath, and also a flat floor underneath. Only issue, the Ora 5 does not have a center armrest or middle cup holder at all, but at least you do have cup holders on the door bins on the side. For the material quality, they are not as good as the front seats. You get some scratchy plastic on the top, some trims underneath, soft paddings underneath, with a very unique, cool-looking speakers on the side. At the front, the Ora 5 does come with a full leather interior with cooling, heating available on this higher version, but if you go to the base model Lux, you will get a fabric seating material, but they are pretty good, fairly supportive and does feel very comfortable. For the inside, the steering, the dash, and also the screen is very similar to what you will find on the new Haval H6 plug-in hybrid or some other new Haval vehicles. You do get a 2-spoke steering over here with Ora logo inside, some direct buttons and start buttons to personalize everything on the left and right. Gear control is behind the steering on the right, indicator and wipers is on the left. Digital dashboard, which is pretty clear, 10.25 inch to be exact. You also do not have head-up display, but at this price range, not many vehicles will do that, by the way. For the interior, the screen is large, 14.6 inch, if my memory is correct. So it is pretty responsive thanks to its new Coffee OS system that allows the vehicle to have a lot of functions under the vehicle, under the swipe down menu, and also fully connectivity with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, both are wireless. Along with that, you also get OTA update with an internet access that allows the vehicle to have access to your mobile apps, or your mobile apps will have access to the vehicle instead, along with many features. I've done a full tutorial about this Coffee OS system in before, so remember to check that on my channel. Under the lights, we'll also find a surprising ambient light available on the Ultra version, considered to be the highest spec. Anyway, the screen itself is really good, responsive. There's a lot of the things you can do. Underneath, you get direct panels, including your air conditioning system that can do the swipe down. You can also personalize everything under the panel to be able to control a lot of things. Overall, my experience with the Ora 5 screen has no issue at all. If we go down underneath, we'll have two air vents and also some direct buttons for your air conditioning system. They do look very much like a mini vehicle in the past. Under here, we have the wireless phone charging, which is 50 watts. But if you go to the Lux model, there is no wireless phone charging. We do have pockets over here and also two cup holders underneath. And then along with that, the center console is also pretty good for your storage and some USB and 12-volt socket charging. Over here on the top again, we have a very small storage just underneath. And if we go to the glove box, there is a small amount of room as well. For the material quality inside the vehicle, it's pretty good. There are very soft paddings over here with some lines and some soft touch on the top. Only when you reach all the way to the bottom, they're gonna be scratchy plastic. On the door bins, they also feel really good. You get better material at the front compared to the back. You also have nice leather paddings underneath, leather paddings over here. Alright, next we are taking the Ora 5 for a quick drive. First thing, the drive experience on this is quite a lot better than the standard Ora that was on sale in New Zealand and Australia for the last few years. You are getting a nice sort of cabin space because it's technically an SUV. You get really good clearance on top of your head. Visibility around this vehicle at the front are really good. On the side, because you get that round mirror, somehow when you first get inside the car, you always feel like you get quite a few blind spots on the side. You just need to take some time to get used to it, really. The rear windscreen is still small. It's a little bit larger than the last Ora, but still it's on the small side. And if you are going to sit anywhere at the back, you pretty much guaranteed are going to be seeing nothing through the rear windscreen. On the road, the Ora 5 feels very good and very nice. At low speed, it's pretty quiet. You are going to see a nice build quality. When you are going on the corners, it feels alright. It's more like on the softer side still. It's not really a super dynamic steering whatsoever, but the steering feedback is alright for a car like this. You are able to change the steering response to comfort, normal, or simple sport. And when you are driving on acceleration, you can also change different drive modes and different region braking, including one pedal driving as well. Overall, it's a pretty smooth acceleration. The single motor at the front is 150 kilowatts. The first pedal response isn't the super fast response, but what's good about it is even I'm trying to do a heavy load acceleration, there's not much of a wheel spin onto the road. So I guess it's probably trying to prevent you from getting that wheel spin when you are accelerating from start and go. So that's probably a good thing. After the get and go, the slightly slower response than expected, the power will fully kick in. That means you get a good amount of acceleration throughout any speed and things. The 0 to 100 timer is rated to 8 seconds. I think it's pretty adequate, but don't expect this car to be a performance machine. It's going to be a nice, lovely daily drive. On the motorway, it is still very soft and comfortable. That's a good thing. You get MacPherson struts at the front, multi-link independent rear suspension at the back. That allows the vehicle to have a good amount of balance over most of the surfaces. On some sort of bumpy roads, it feels a little bit more floaty than some other vehicles, but it's just what the approach is from GWM. Regardless, it's still a nice, comfortable vehicle, and it's relatively quiet to travel. Apart from some wind noise from the A-pillar, you get pretty much a quiet cabin. Speaking about the quiet cabin experience, at low speed, you are going to get the whining noise for pedestrian warnings. You are able to change that, but it's quite a bit in the cabin. You're going to feel that whining noise in the vehicle, by the way. Although you could turn up your music to get rid of that noise, it is still quite noticeable, just like all the other GWM hybrid or plug-in hybrid vehicles. Alright, this is again just a quick first look and first drive. If there's an opportunity for me to review this car for long term, I'd love to share my thoughts later on. What are your thoughts about the GWM Ora 5? Please let me know in the comment down below. Would you take this over a BYD Atto 2, Dongfeng Vigor, J-Cool J5, or even an MG4 Urban? Please share your thoughts. If you find my video helpful, the best way to support the channel is to subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.